Today we are going to continue our study of Chapter 6 on ancient China with Lesson 4, the Han Dynasty. So last time we talked about the Qin Dynasty with Qin Shi Huangdi. He was the emperor and he was very legalistic and basically ruled with an iron fist. He did accomplish a lot, so it just depends on what you look at as to whether or not you liked him or you didn't like him. But when he died, things fell into disorder and chaos. So that leads us into the Han Dynasty. So the big idea today, the Han Dynasty created a new form of government that valued family, art, and learning. There are three main ideas. Han Dynasty government was based on the ideas of Confucius. Family life was supported and strengthened in Han China. And the Han made many achievements in art, literature, and learning. So they're going to be totally opposite than the Qin Dynasty. You're going to come back and watch the video following the slide about the Han Dynasty, which will be this video. So here we have the rise of a new dynasty. Lu Bang, a peasant fighting in the rebel army, became emperor due to the Chinese belief in the mandate of heaven. Remember, we talked about this earlier. So now it's kind of like each dynasty, they kind of flip-flop. They went back and forth based on what they needed at that point in time. So Lu Bang was the first emperor of the Han Dynasty. So he basically just said, okay, heaven said that I'm supposed to be the ruler, so here I am. Well, it worked out because he was well liked by both the warriors and the peasants, and he released the country from those strict legalistic practices of Qin Shi Huangdi, and he focused on the people's immediate needs. Lu Bang lowered taxes, gave large plots of land to supporters, and he set up a government that expanded on the ideas of the Qin. In other words, he recognized what Qin Shi Huangdi had done correctly, but then he tried to fix what he didn't feel like he had done correctly. So here we have the Han Dynasty in this kind of brownish color. And you can see that parts of the wall have been completed throughout the Qin Dynasty. So the Han Dynasty is actually larger than the Qin Dynasty was. So here we have a cool name. His name is Wudi. So in 140 BCE, Emperor Wudi took the throne and he shifted the country's focus back to a strong central government. So more like the legalistic version. Confucianism, named for Confucius, became the official government philosophy. Now, Confucianism is not a religion. It is a way of thinking, a way of living. Emperor Wudi built a university that helped to teach Confucian ideals and awarded his officials with a higher rank if they became familiar with Confucian principles. There were 4 social classes under the Confucian system. You, of course, have the upper class, which is the emperor, his court, and his scholars, the smart people. Second class, if you've ever been referred to as a second-class citizen, that's where that comes from. These were the peasants. They made life work on a daily basis. In other words, without them, they wouldn't have had an empire. Third-class citizens, the artisans, those who produced items for daily life and some luxury goods. And then fourth-class citizens would be the merchants. They were the people who bought and sold what the other people made. So we still have a definite social hierarchy. So family life. Social rank did not reflect prosperity or how well you did in life. Hard work and heavy labor did not reflect prosperity. A strong family was stressed so that the people would obey the emperor. In other words, if the children obeyed their parents, then they're going to grow up with this show of respect, and they would, as adults, obey him, the emperor. Men were the head of the household. The rulers had to obey their elders too. It was a crime to disobey. Get that? A crime. Some men gained jobs based on the respect that they showed to their elders, to the people who were older than them. Women, they were taught to obey their husbands. Girls were not valued as highly as boys. But one good thing is women could influence their sons' families. So it's kind of this catch-22 of the men, yes, they're in charge, but the women are respected as well. I mean, you've got to have both. Some Han achievements, we have art. They created realistic scenes from everyday life, advanced figure painting, and depictions of religious figures and Confucian scholars. There are two different types of literature, the Fu style and the Shi style. The Fu style is a combination of prose and poetry. And the Shi style, you can remember it because it's short lines of verse that could be sung. So Shi style, short, sung. And then the invention of paper. The Han Chinese made paper by grinding plant fibers into a paste and then setting the paste out to dry in sheets. Later, they rolled the dried pulp up into scrolls. So it's very similar to the paper that we have today. Unlike the Egyptians, they used papyrus. They invented the sundial. This is a device for telling time, and it uses the position of the shadows cast by the sun to tell the time of day. You'll see some of this in some of the videos you'll be watching. Seismograph. This, of course, is a device that measures the strength of an earthquake. Chinese scientists believed that the movement of the earth was a sign of evil times. So they didn't know what caused an earthquake then. So they blamed it on evil things. And then you may have heard of acupuncture. This was developed during the Han Dynasty. Acupuncture is a practice of inserting tiny needles into the skin to cure disease or to relieve pain. And it's something that is very widely used still today. And some people really, really think it works. All right, this is the end of lesson 6.4. You're going to watch the following 8 videos in the next few days. So just make sure that you watch them in order as to how I tell you to watch them. And I'm just going to scroll through, and you can see that there are several videos that you're going to watch. If you're ever wondering what the title is, you can click up in the top left-hand corner, and it will tell you what the title of that video is.